Hey, it's Brian with Reclaimed Republic. I've been thinking about doing this for a while, is doing a little bit more in-depth video on restoring versus just cleaning pots and pans. And so today I'm going to do something with this Revere Ware saucepan. I actually passed by this at a thrift store at a Goodwill last week, and then I went back and bought it. I was thinking about it. So this is stamped Riverside, California. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's kind of dirty on the bottom. But I was born in California, so I thought that had a kind of a nostalgic pull to it. But there's some damage on the rim right here where there's a little crack in the rim, so it's a little bit misshapen. But it's a pre-1968 double ring, which means it's going to have the better copper on the bottom of it. And decided that I'd just give it a shot with more or less a full restoration, as best as I can do here in my little, back of the house sink area. My wife and I are restoring this house, so it's a little messy and, yeah, a little bit dirty. But in any case, so I watched a couple videos on YouTube about how to do this a little more properly than just a regular clean. So I'm going to get into it right now, just probably talk through the process while I'm doing it, maybe play a little background music to get rid of the boring parts or speed it up a little bit, but we'll just see how it looks when it gets done. So excited to see that. Get this price sticker off first. So I paid $4.89 plus tax, so it's about $5.40 after tax here, roughly. Maybe a little less, but that's about it. Okay, rid of that. Take my handle off. Go. I'll clean that up and clean up that handle a little bit as well. I'm not going to take this thing out. Get that cleaned up. All right. So the guy that was doing this, he actually taped off the copper so that he could clean this part up first. So we will do that. All right. So I need a little bowl. I don't have a bowl for soapy water, but I do have another saucepan. A little bit of soapy water. Okay. And he was using 400 grit wet dry sandpaper. I didn't have any 400 grit. I've got some 1500 grit. So it's a little more finer sanding, but we'll see how that works. I'm going to sand with the grain, if you will. Okay, next we're going to use some of this Mother's Mag and aluminum polish. Maybe putting on entirely too much, I'm not certain, but we'll see. I feel like I am putting on too much. Wipe off some of the excess. Okay, now we're going to use steel wool to clean that up. My steel wool. So for this process, for the steel wool, we're going to use quadruple-aught, 4-aught steel wool. All right, let's rinse this off. Definitely looks better. I'm sure some of the results get better as you do this more, but looks a lot better than it did. But I think there's still, it could probably look better than this, but I think it looks a lot better than it did. Now we got this a little bit damp. We're gonna get a little barkeeper's friend. You can use, he used the powder, so I'm gonna use my powder. A little shaker here. I normally wear gloves for this part. If I'm doing a bunch of pieces all at one time, put gloves on. If you use a lot of barkeeper's friend and you're not wearing gloves and you've got soap and all that stuff, then it can really dry out your hands. get a little bit of polish. Just going to keep polishing this until I get stops getting dirty, I guess. The guy that I watched, I'm going to link his video, I think I said that, but the channel's called Ikura Prime, and whenever he was done, he had a like a pretty much a mirror reflection in the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to get that, but golly, look at that. That is just whew. Tell you what, I'm darn close to that. I can see the water reflection in the bottom of the saucepan. I can see my hand. It's a little bit fuzzy. Maybe I'll take another swipe at it and see what it looks like. It's actually lifting all the wear out of the bottom where it's stamped, and usually the black stays in there after you clean them up, because you don't dig all the way in there to clean it up. And all the little nooks and crannies, it's actually taking some of that off. Okay, so this is well, golly, it's still a lot of dirt. You know, one thing he didn't say, but I wonder, is a lot of times with polish, when you're like buffing or polishing a car, you let it set for a little while and kind of haze over, and then you wipe it off. And I'm wondering if this is the same way, if I need to. And of course I didn't read the instructions on the polish itself. So let that sit for just a minute. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna let it sit. While that's sitting there, I'm gonna work on this handle a little bit. Some handle restoration videos I saw, he actually wet sanded the handles to clean them up, and then covered them in mineral oil, which I've got some mineral oil right over here. I found it to be fairly successful. With the mineral oil, probably got about a 60 or 70% success rate, kind of getting the handles back to where they look nice and a more rich black color than that faded black or kind of oxidized black that the plastic handles tend to turn into over time. And I don't know if that's because they get washed in the dishwasher more versus hand washed. I don't know exactly what causes that. I just know that you find a lot of pieces like that. Some more oxidized handles. rivet. Pull another rivet out. See. Yeah, I can see my hand in there pretty decent. Pretty good reflection. I think that's probably, I'm going to wash it. I think that's probably going to do it. That's pretty good. Move that inside a little bit. All right, so my battery died and I didn't have a backup battery, so I had to wait a little bit to get that one charged back up. But where we left off, so I was basically done with the saucepan itself. I did scrub out the inside of it a little bit, just with the steel wool and a little bit of Barkeeper's Friend. There's a little bit of pitting at the bottom. You can't clean that out. That's just going to be there, but it's pretty minor overall. But I got this cleaned up really well. I'm going to go ahead and mess with the handles now. So I'm going to use some mineral oil. I sanded them down, wet sanded these, and now I'm going to use some mineral oil on them. Actually, what I'm going to do is install them first, and then I'm going to put the mineral oil on them. So let's see, I had the what did I do with my rivets? Okay. There's the screws. Where did I set the rivets? Right there. Well, I guess I can just put the rivet on like that. Just like that. Put it up like that. Get the screw in. That was nice and snug. Get this one put in. That was nice and snug. There's a little crack kind of going down the middle, a little open there, but I'm not worried about that, especially since it's for me, and I don't think honestly most people would care about that. But let's see, let's get a paper towel here, get it nice and soaked with mineral oil. We'll just get that all over that. Let that dry for just a minute, and then we'll bring you back. All right, we gave that a few minutes to kind of soak in here, so we'll just kind of wipe this down, any extra residue on the handle. It's in a lot better shape than it was. It's not perfect. It doesn't have that super high gloss like it would, but it's definitely in better shape than it was. So it's been sitting on the counter now, but all right, so this is the finished product. Kind of wipe that off a bit. Probably I'm gonna wash it up with soapy water one more time. All right, well, I think we are done. This is the kind of the side view. You can kind of get a look at all the sides, see how reflective that looks. I can see the reflection pretty clearly, just stuff around here. And then get a good shot of the bottom there. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I hope so. But man, this looks probably, I'm going to say 50% better than the ones that I clean up to sell, but it looks about 200% better than whenever I started. It looks really good. The handle looks really good with that mineral oil on there. Got that put back on. This is a really nice piece. I'm going to really enjoy using this at home. And yeah, it's probably not the perfect restoration, but it's the best one that I've done so far. And I'm pretty thrilled with it. So if you have any comments or questions or about pots and pans, I'm not an expert, but I'll be happy to share any knowledge that I have. Yeah, just leave those down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.